How is going, lads? How are you?
Not too bad. How are you getting on yourself?
How are you getting on?
Not bad at all. I love the fact that I got two years here. It's great.
Yeah, you never knew which one's which because we're brothers, so.
Sure. There you go. Listen, tell me. So we've Danny and we've Tommy. Yeah.
That's it.
Tell us a little bit all about Understarling. What are you about? Why did you catch my eye in the middle of the night? And why do I like you so much?
I'm just going into your mind there. I'm going to read it. So, what are we about? That's a really tough question. I guess we all just love playing music. So we're a four-piece anyway, with myself, my brother Tommy, Colin Drummy on bass guitar, and Alex Pollock on keys and guitar. And we all sing together. And we've been playing music for as long as I can remember, really. And we started off as a two-piece. We started off playing kind of covers in bars and stuff, and we kind of graduated to our own music as we went along, and we just found a love for it. And I think the main thing that we love about playing is the live experience. Playing live is like it feels so good to play live, and like at the moment that's kind of shot, but that would be our main, like, I don't know, what would it be, like, you know, how would you explain it?
Our main, like, flair.
Yeah, our main flair will be our live show. We just love connecting with the audience and, like, interacting. And I'm not sure if any of the listeners have been to our show, but, like, in Galway, Dublin, Cork, whatever, but they're generally hopping and everyone's bouncing around the energy. And that's I think that's what Understarling is. It's the live thing between us and the audience, really. The moment. That's the moment when we're playing music. I think that's... Yeah.
So what was that like for you lads when you were locked down and you couldn't do that? What was that like?
Rather than just sitting around and like being in a huff for a good while, we kind of just took it on the chin and we started writing and recording music, coming up with new ideas. It was hard because we couldn't be like, you know, full band couldn't be together a lot, so we had to write a lot of music, you know, over Zoom or...
We adapted to the situation as well, and we did simulation sessions. So we did live gigs on the internet, and they did well, like, but it wasn't really the same, but they were still fun, you know. We didn't really just do nothing, I guess.
I suppose, yeah, everyone kind of adapted, didn't they? They ran with the punches because you didn't know from day to day whether you're going to be able to do a live show, or they kept changing the rules, and then you could have 5 people in the audience, then you could have 7 people in the audience, and you could have 50 people in the audience, and then it all kind of went asunder. I suppose everyone kind of adapted, and I suppose it's a good mark on your generation, the younger people who were able to adapt to that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like, I don't like technology. Like, we had to, it was our only hope really to connect in that way, really, you know, because the Instagram lives, the YouTube lives, it was the only way to get our music across to our fans so they could like regularly hear it.
I suppose it's like like with technology, it's like we grew up, like we're young enough, you know, 20, 25 and 23, it's kind of the average age of the band, and like we grew up with technology, so a lot of people who hadn't, it would have been quite hard for during the lockdown. But there was also aspects where we never had to record ourselves. Like, we had to make our own studio at home because we couldn't rent a studio anywhere else. We couldn't go and, you know, be in the same room as a person outside our like household, of course, yeah, in the lockdown and all that. So we had to, like, you know, do the free courses or look up stuff online or do paid courses just to teach ourselves some more knowledge on, I suppose, music technology that we wouldn't have been acquainted with.
There's a big learning curve in the equipment we needed, the setup, like using OBS, using microphones. But I guess it's a skill we carry with us now, and I think it's a good one to have in our arsenal because the world is changing and how people watch, you know, music and listen to music, I guess.
Absolutely. It's a case of adapt or die, really, isn't it?
That's it.
Absolutely.
Lads, what when you were growing up, what was in the household? What were your mammy and daddy listening to? What was in the background? What got you into a band in the first place?
We always think of our mum's magic locker with all the CDs. There's so much good music there. Oh, it was there. Radiohead, I remember the OK Computer album was there. I remember looking at the cover of that and just being like mesmerised by all the blues and white. It was like crazy looking. So, like, what else was there? Remember?
Like there was Coldplay there.
Random stuff like the Scissor Sisters. That was there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you always got to have them.
And then our dad would like. He'd be very into like Tin Lizzy and Queen, so he would show us all like the more rockier stuff.
Now, lads, sit down there now, listening to good music. This is real rock music now.
Literally, AC/DC and everything. You know?
And how did the band get together? How did that all happen?
Oh jeez.
How did I even start guitar?
Like along, like the quick long story. Danny started guitar just in this local guitar lessons down in a local hall, and he started them. And my cousin taught me the drums because I didn't really do the drums because I was like, oh, I'll go off, and I wasn't like consciously one day, oh, I'll go learn the drums. I saw her play the drums, and I was like, if Danny's playing the guitar, I might as well play the drums. I might as well do something different, and we could make a little band. So we made our band consisting of like a Smith drum kit with a really small guitar playing in our hallway in our house,
karaoke mic,
with a karaoke mic, and then we progressed to we bought a few, like we saved up allowances and stuff and bought better equipment.
Like I remember my first guitar was a pretty decent one. It was Gibson SG, the same one like Angus Young. I was inspired. I just loved the look of it. The horns. That was my first. Well, it wasn't my first guitar, but it was my first decent guitar that I gigged with.
And then from there, we just as a duo, we just started playing in pubs and stuff until we asked a friend to join. Stephen, he was in the band for years. He just left recently to pursue other career opportunities. And I played rugby with him. He joined. We played gigs and pubs and everything for a good while. And then we just decided we needed a bass player. We went through a few of them, and we ended up with Colin, who is the bass player at the moment. And then just more years down the line.
Are you feeding him? Are you feeding him? Once you feed the bass player, once you give him some food and keep him in the corner out of sunlight, they're quite happy.
Yeah,
what was it, Mogwai?
Yeah. Don't give him too much water.
Don't give him too much water. The odd sup of Guinness or whiskey or something, just to keep him happy. Keep him out of sunlight.
Yeah.
And
so then we had Alex, who joined last year, and that's the 4 at the moment.
Ah, brilliant! And how do you boys gel? How is it like with the rest of them being with two brothers, and how's it for you guys being in a band together?
Well, it's Danny speaking now. I've been with good friends with Alex all the way through secondary school, and we kind of bounced music tastes off each other. Like he would have gotten me into like more folky stuff, like Tallest Man on Earth, Ben Howard, and then we kind of challenged each other like on who could play the Ben Howard songs. And I always we never really, he's been my friend throughout secondary school, and then it just snapped one day. Oh, Alex, join the band. So that just happened. So that's natural, because we're friends, is not just a random person. And then Colin's obviously our friend because he's been with us from the very get-go as well. So we glue in that sense, as friends.
I suppose being in Waterford doesn't hinder matters, does it? Because the music scene in Waterford is fantastic.
It's not too bad. It's good. It could be better when there's a few more venues. Yeah, that's the only problem.
There's loads of bands who are in Waterford, but there's no Whelans of Waterford, or the way Galway has
one down there, Central Hall,
Central Art,
and that wasn't very popular. That was kind of scraping by, but
it closed down recently.
Yeah, there's no music venues or hubs really. It's kind of just like pubs that cover bands play in, really, I guess. That's my opinion about it anyway.
Is this a problem, lads? Because it's something that I'm seeing a hell of a lot since the early, since about 2010 onwards. A lot of venues are open to music, but they're open to cover bands more so than they're actually open to real bands like yourself who's starting off, who need a stage to play on. I know for myself, I live in Swords, which is the back of the airport, but we got this brand new venue. I won't mention names, but it totally just plays cover bands all day long.
Like the cover bands are the money makers. Like they bring the people in the door, but like venues need to they need to invest in a band and see potential and know that in the long run, if you build this underground scene with actual original music, it's going to be more lively than a cover band scene, which is just the same thing over and over again. It's more vibrant if it's original music, but a lot of places and whatever haven't taken that plunge yet, really.
Like we've had a few gigs now, like when we were younger, cover gigs now that, we'd always try and sneak in a few of our originals halfway through the set.
Yeah.
Just like because we wanted to play them, get them out, but like we've been stopped in our tracks a few times just before we're about to go on, saying like, here lads, I don't want to hear any of your original shite now tonight, none of that. And then we'd still play it, we just wouldn't announce it as our own. But like, it's kind of this. It came to a stage when we were playing covers that we were hearing so much of that, it got a bit disheartening. So we kind of just left. Like it was a good way to push the band forward because we had a bit of money with it and we could buy new equipment. But in the long run, we were kind of more looking to show people our own music. And when all we heard from venue people was that, it was kind of it was hurtful. But there was other venues who loved their original stuff as well, so that was great.
Of course. There'll always be venues that will take a punt and take you on, because growing up in the 90s and being in bands in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was kind of a case in Dublin where you got the old shebeen that was kind of looking for a few lads just to fill a few heads, just to give us a bit of, and they always took a punt. But I suppose that's the kind of thing you got to go where the music is, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it.
Lads, tell us all about this single. Is there an album? I love the single, absolutely adore it. Tell us all about it. Who wrote it? What was it written for? And is there an album coming up, lads?
So Purple Heights is our second single this year. We released Icarus back in March, was it? Mm-hmm. We released Icarus back in March. So May. Oh, May. Sorry, we released Icarus back in May, and this is our second single this year. But fortunately, this single is not connected. We are bringing out an album.
Yay!
So that album is hopefully coming out in November. But this single will not be on the album because this is a standalone special single.
Ooh,
so it's written in commemoration of the 100-year anniversary of the end of the Irish War of Independence.
Yes.
Which is Sunday. What day is this? Is it next Sunday week, isn't it?
Sunday week.
So we're dropping it on Friday. So just to be in.
Yeah, like Sunday week is when. Well, next Friday was when a truce was signed to end, like as an agreement.
Yeah, which ultimately ended
but the truce didn't commence until the 11th, which was 2 days after the signing.
Can I just say, lads, I was listening to it, and it got my old, the old fire in me belly going about the, damn the bloody English. But sure, look, if it wasn't for Winston Churchill, we'd be all speaking German, lads.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about the speech, we just love what Eamon was saying about the country in the speech. He has such a good message. He was dead on in what he said in that speech, and we wanted to evoke some passion in the country. Coming up to this really important event, 100-year anniversary, we wanted to spark some passion into the country, and get people knowing what happened, what people fought for, what people died for. It's really important that people know about this. And we want to do something special for it.
What makes young lads like yourself write something like that? Why is this so special to you in particular?
So, The song was inspired by our great granduncle Pat Keating, who was a very brave man, and basically he died in an event called the Burgery Ambush.
Oh yes,
and that happened in our hometown.
did indeed.
So I was inspired by that. We were always told stories about that growing up, and it just, I don't know, like, the way a song works, it's weird. Like, it just kind of comes in drips and drabs. The ideas, the inspiration just flows. But that was the main stemming of Purple Heights, you know. Like, even Purple Heights, the name of the song, that's a little snippet from his poem that he wrote, Comer's Rugged Hills. That's where the name came from. That was a poem by Pat Keating.
Wow.
And yeah, basically the Burgery Ambush, it was an event that basically the IRA, they ambushed a military convoy that was heading into Dungarvan, and they successfully took like weapons and equipment. But then like 12 men, including Pat Keating, they came back to the site in the evening, and they didn't know that the Black and Tans were on the road, and they started opening fire on Pat and his crew. So Pat was wounded in the process, and basically, you know, he died that evening. And I was inspired kind of by the whole story.
Well, of course he would be. Of course he would be. It's an amazing story. Because I remember that from my old history teacher telling me all about that down in Waterford. And it's amazing that young lads like yourself will be writing stuff like that. And I absolutely salute you for you know, giving an ode to the people of the past who, well, gave us a country, I suppose.
Thank you. Yeah.
And like the main reason the speech is there then is because it was because of people like that who like gave up their lives is the reason that we had, you know, the freedom. Yeah.
Isn't it a bit like, I suppose, in a kind of a way, musicians and artists like yourself, you're fighting your own battle for your own freedom, for your own voice, and it's very important to remember those who, you know, done that before you.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Lads, if people want to find out more, where do they go to?
I suppose they can go to any of our socials or our website. So obviously the band is called Under Starling. So look us up on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and you can go to www.understarling.com as well to find out more information. We're always active on Instagram and everything. So I guess, and if anyone wants to pre-save Purple Heights, it's in our bio in our Instagram. So the bio is just the little tag at the top of our profile. Click into that and you can pre-save the song, and it'll be in your Spotify on the day that it's released.
Oh, I love that.
A chance to win a vinyl of the song if they pre-save the song.
Ooh, I'd like a vinyl of that. Are you doing the whole arty work on the vinyl?
Yeah, the art, it literally just arrived in the post today. It's beautiful. It's actually on our Instagram story, and it looks lovely. So one lucky person will be winning that.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Listen, lads, you're gents. I wish you all the best. You're so young yet so mature. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Will you do me a favour? When all this is over, will you please come up to Dublin? I'll find somewhere for you. You can stay in my front house, in my front garden if you want. There's a guest house there. Come up to the sessions. Absolutely, come up to the sessions. Do a live session here some Thursday night, and we'd love to have you.
Absolutely, that sounds great.
Listen, lads, I'm going to play the single. Thank you so much for coming on air, and I wish you all the best for that. Okay.
Thank you so much for having us. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
And here is the single, Purple Heights.